Welcome to Ask an Event Pro from Events.com. My name is Bob Babbitt. We're brought to you by RunningUSA. My guest, one of the best sports agents in the business, Mr. Hawi Keflezighi. Hawi, how the heck are you?
I'm doing well, Bob. How are you?
I am wonderful. So, you just did a new deal for your brother Meb with Skechers, I think till 2023.
Yeah.
That might be one of the longest running deals of all time.
We just announced on Monday that Skechers extended Meb's deal to 2023, and Meb's likely to retire before that, but
Yes.
Skechers sees the value of having Meb as an ambassador beyond his professional competitive years,
Right.
and so we're very excited about this partnership.
So when you think about that, there's a couple great messages that come out of that. One, that Skechers values Meb as far more than just an elite runner, as a person. And two, that they're investing in the sport itself. From how important was all that to you?
That's definitely very important. I think this highlights Skechers' extension of Meb's partnership, or
Yes.
the partnership with Meb highlights just how invested Skechers is in the running space.
Right.
The Skechers is the title sponsor of the LA Marathon now.
Yes.
They have 28 Olympic trials qualifiers racing this weekend on Saturday. So this is it's kind of like, Skechers has made a big
Right.
investment in running. Obviously, Meb is one of the big ambassadors, but they have their footprint in the sport now.
So when did you decide to become a sports agent? What was it? Just the fact that Meb needed some help?
I always dreamed of being an agent because I grew up around Meb and around his friends and his
Yes.
teammates. So I always I loved being an advocate for athletes. But I really thought I was going to go the basketball route. I was going to represent basketball players and NBA players.
Yes.
I was a student manager for the UCLA basketball team, and that's where my interest sparked to becoming an agent. But when Meb won the silver medal in 2004, and he was looking for a U.S.-based agent, we started having a conversation, and one thing led to another, and
Next thing you know.
11 years later, I'm representing him.
Well, and when you start out in representing your brother,
Yep.
then you want to expand outside of that,
Right.
so that people don't think, oh, it's just Howie representing his brother.
Yep.
How hard was that to convince other athletes that you were going to work as hard for them as you work for your brother?
Yeah, it's interesting how that developed, because my first idea was, let me do a good job for Meb. All I wanted to do was take care of my brother. Sure, I've had some great athletes that I represented along with Meb early
Yes.
in my career, but my first objective was to take care of Meb, and that went well. And word of mouth goes so far, right? So really, I feel like I've never really recruited. I might have recruited 5 athletes.
Right.
But for the most part, I'm not an aggressive recruiter. I let my actions speak for themselves, and we've done just a great partnership, a good working relationship with Meb, and then Leo Manzano. I think that's when the floodgates opened, when Leo Manzano signed, and people saw what I could do for him.
Right.
And then I think other athletes said, hey, you know what? Doesn't look like Howie is exclusive to Meb.
And not just exclusive Meb, but exclusive to long distance, because Leo Manzano's a silver medalist at 1,500 meters.
Right.
That's as far from Meb as you can get.
Yeah.
How hard was it for you to go, because you're going to different sponsors.
Yes.
When you're talking to Leo and you're talking to a Meb.
It's I really believe in relationships. So it's not just looking for a corporation, looking for a sponsor, but working with Meb for over 10 years,
Yes.
I have built a lot of great relationships in the industry, and the sport of running is exciting for a lot of brands. So I like to be a way. I like for my athletes to be a way that the brand and the companies can be activate in the running space. So that's
Right.
what I like to do, and it's been a smooth process. I haven't forced it. I really believe in organic relationships and organic partnerships.
So you start working with Meb when he wins the silver medal.
Yep.
And things are going well. Then Meb has a period there where he hurts his hip, and we don't know if he'll ever run again.
Right.
As an agent, basically, I lose my meal ticket. I don't have anybody to represent.
Right.
How scary was that for both of you at that time?
You know what? At that point, I was more scared for Meb than for myself.
Yes.
Because for myself, I had my law degree. I could pursue other opportunities, and I had only been in the sport for a year or two. So
Right.
but for Meb, he put
It's his career.
Yeah, he put so many years, so many miles into it, and we hadn't put him in a position to really have. He had a lot of opportunities, but now he's in a definitely very comfortable situation, smooth transition to his post-running career. But in 2007, it was kind of unexpected, so that one was a little bit scary at that time. It would have been a rougher transition, but knowing Meb, it would have been just fine. But it's better that it hasn't happened yet.
what's interesting is Meb had been a long-time athlete with Nike, and then when Meb was injured, then all of a sudden, and we've seen this with a lot of other athletes,
right,
all of a sudden they're damaged goods, and that's when an agent really earns his dollars, because at that point you did a deal with Skechers, and Skechers at that time was not known as a performance shoe in any way, shape, or form.
Right.
And people looked at it and thought, well, Skechers, that's a silly sponsorship for Meb to sign.
Right.
But it turned out to be the absolute best place for Meb to be, because Skechers has their own stores.
Yes.
They don't have to worry about getting on the wall of a retailer. When that was announced, were you surprised at sort of the backlash from that?
You know, for us internally, we knew we did our due diligence.
Yes.
Our due diligence first starts with Meb. Meb ran in the Skechers shoes for 400 miles to feel comfortable.
Yes.
And he knew he was only going to stay in the sport if he could run personal best. And the shoes, he felt comfortable. He felt comfortable in the direction that Skechers was going, from a management, production, marketing, all those elements. We really did our due diligence. So when the backlash comes and you feel very confident in your decision, it doesn't affect you. And then everybody, when Meb won the Boston Marathon, or even before that, when
New York,
when he won New York or ran personal best and won the Olympic trials and 4th place in the Olympics, people said, hey, you know what? Maybe it wasn't just chasing the money. It was really Meb finding a good partner. And I give Meb a lot of credit, because we took our time and found the right person, and Skechers has been a great partner for Meb.
The other side is Meb has always been on the cutting edge, because before Meb, you didn't see elite marathoners wearing the compression socks, especially in a race, right?
Yes.
Is, like you said, is Meb one of those guys who you'll come to him with an idea and say, hey, these guys are interested in sponsoring you, but obviously you have to feel comfortable wearing this product and racing in this product.
It's interesting how things work out, because it's almost like the product, before we even have any conversations on terms of a deal, we have Meb test the product.
Right.
And as long as there's no conflict of interest with his current partners, Meb will try a product and he'll give me his honest feedback. And when he tells me, hey, Howie, this works for me, pursue a deal, then it's my job to deliver a deal. And it's pretty easy. It's not easy, but it's a little bit easier when you have a world-class athlete and a great ambassador of the sport like Meb saying, I believe in this product, whether it's Generation UCAN, which was a startup sports drink, whether it's CEP, or even Skechers. Once Meb gives me the green light and says, I believe in this product, let's do a little bit more engagement and conversation, then it's my job to seal a deal. So it's not necessarily me approaching Meb about, hey, how about this deal? It's really just trying a product. The product, if it works, then why not endorse it and find a partnership?
How did it change things for you? Because it's one thing to win a marathon. Winning the New York City Marathon is great.
Yeah.
But Boston, the year after the bombings, all of a sudden it takes Meb to another level, right? It's mainstream America.
Yeah.
How did your phone blow up, and how did things change for you as someone representing Meb at that point?
Yeah, that was definitely a special moment when Meb won the Boston Marathon. But maybe a few weeks prior to that, I had like a high point in my career when Leo Manzano signed with Hoka 1-1.
Yes.
And so that was like, oh my gosh, I have Meb Keflezighi, silver medalist in the marathon. I have Leo Manzano,
silver medalist in 1500,
and they've got great deals with some great footwear partner.
Yes.
I was so excited. It's like I was on a high already before the Boston Marathon. And then Meb wins Boston. And seriously, it's like life couldn't get any better before the race. So ever since, life has just been better and better, ever since Meb won the Boston Marathon. And for Meb, I mean, that event, I always say, I try to stay objective as possible, because I know people see me as Meb's brother. It's like, oh, you know, I'm an advocate for Meb and many athletes. But I try to stay very objective. But after Meb won the Boston Marathon, I said, you know what, it's unfair for me to stay this objective. I have the honor of representing one of the greatest athletes in American history. That's my opinion, you know. And sure, he's my brother, but I never really held him to that standard until he achieved Boston Marathon. And so, you know, he's not easy on me, and I'm not easy on him. But what he did in Boston was very special, and I don't think I'm alone in that perspective.
So Meb now 40 years old.
Yep.
He's got the Olympic trials coming up on Saturday. I look at the field. Obviously, you got Galen Rupp. You got a lot of great guys. What would it mean to Meb to make another Olympic team?
You know, that's Meb's last remaining goal. right, in the sport. And
Right.
he's achieved everything else. He wants to make his 4th Olympic team so his daughters can remember, why he's up in Mammoth, understand why he's making all these sacrifices, because they were young in 2012.
Yes.
So now in 2016, his youngest daughter will be 6 years old, and I think hopefully he does make the team and they can really remember this as they grow up.
Where will you be on race day?
So on race day, I will be near the finish line, but we're also with Meb's wife and kids and our parents, but we're also hosting a viewing party. So we'll have, I'm saying, hundreds of people on the course cheering Meb on, high school classmates, college teammates, family, friends, sponsors.
Fellow birthday guys.
Yeah, fellow birthday guys, and a lot of Bruins. A lot of Bruins.
A lot of Bruins coming out. Howie, always a pleasure to get to chat with you. Congratulations on everything that you've done for Meb and for the sport. I think you both have really been a credit to the sport.
Oh, thank you so much, Bob, and thanks for all you do for the sport and endurance sports overall.
Hawi Keflezighi has been our guest. Hold on, everyone. We will be right back.
Hi, it's Andrea, ping pong champion from Events.com. Be sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for more tips.